Here is a tour of the lifts at Stade Hospital. This hospital has a very big amount of lifts and they have been loyal to the original manufacturer, Hävemeier and Sander, and later KONE because they took H&S over. The current maintenance contract is still done by KONE. What a good example of company loyalty. This hospital got a collection of lifts. In 1965 to 66, the first 13 lifts have been installed. A set of 4, then 2 service lifts, 1 small passenger doctor's lift, 2 single bed-size lifts, 1 dumbwaiter, and 3 passenger lifts in the nearby hospital management office buildings. In 1972, another service lift has been added, followed by a set of 2 in the 80s. In the 90s, when the brand name Hävemeier and Sander didn't exist anymore, KONE delivered a set of 2 M-Series bed-sized lifts, and in the 2000s, 2 EcoDiscs have been added. After all, we got 20 lifts here. Now that is a lot. And now to the first lift, which is the first lift one comes across when entering the building. It is a single nice old lift modernized with KONE M-Series fixtures. This lift has a very old-fashioned sign in it, telling about the doors and that they open and close automatically. Something that is totally box standard nowadays, but back in the 60s, lots of lifts had swing doors. I like they kept the sign, so it gives us a taste of the 60s. And now to the next lift, which has been added on later. It is a second generation EcoDisc with a very characterful sound. This lift is unfortunately locked off on all of the floors the stops at, but luckily I managed to ride it anyways. Next to this lift there is a dumbwaiter. This dumbwaiter is original from when the hospital has been built, but I don't care so much about small dumbwaiters. So now to the next lift, which is the main set of lifts in the hospital, a set of 4 lifts. These have been delivered in the 60s. They modernized the cab design probably in the 80s and later on modernized these lifts again, and some KONE Delta fixtures have been added. And now to the next lift, which is a really small, almost invisible lift, modernized by KONE with M-Series buttons and new KONE inner doors. You know, that type of doors producing the characterful KONE-like door motor sound. Really nice. This lift doesn't reach the third basement. And now to the set of two lifts that has been added in the 1980s. These also have been modernized with KONE Delta fixtures. And now to the really nice real KONE M-Series lifts from the 90s. They have muted the chimes. Very disappointing. The chimes are the most amazing feature of these lifts. How could they turn it off? However, the rest of these lifts is very authentic, including the fact that you can't select a floor which is the opposite direction than the lift currently travels. KONE controllers as its finest. And now to the service building and into the first lift there. This lift can be used as a dumbwaiter too, as it has got floor buttons outside. But luckily it isn't just a dumbwaiter, as it has got floor buttons in the lift cab too. And now to the next lift, which also is a service lift. However, this one is hydraulic and it got a rear door setup. 3 doors and no inner doors. Whoa, that is amazing. The uppermost floor is an outside floor. You need a key to call the lift there. Therefore, it is programmed to return to the lowest floor after waiting a few seconds. And now all the way back across the main lifts and to the other side where there is the children's ward. There is another Hävemeier Sander lift, modernized with KONE M-Series buttons and new controllers, and, unlike the very first lift in this video, unfortunately they also replaced the doors. And now to a lift that is hidden very deep in the grottiest part of the basement. Just how I love it. It is an original lift from the 70s and it goes from the 3rd basement further down to the 5th basement. Spooky. This lift says no passenger transport, suggesting that it has been turned into a dumbwaiter, but luckily it hasn't been converted and the floor buttons still work. And now, out of the hospital, as these were all the lifts in there. Let's go to the car park, where there is another KONE EcoDisc. This also is the second generation lift, even though it is 7 years newer than the locked off EcoDisc in the hospital building. This lift stops at every half floor. And now to the first of the 3 office blocks and into the first lift there. Apart from an inner door being added, this lift is complete and original. Really nice lift. And now to the next block and into the next lift. This also is original apart from inner doors. And now to the third block, which, unlike the others, has not been cleaned up and it looks totally grotty on the inside. The lift doors have also not been repainted. I wonder why they refreshed the other 2 blocks but left that one here still grotty. Anyways, let's ride the lift. It is pretty much like the last 2 ones.